Welcome back to Coach Peggy Real Time. Hey, you guys, we're so glad that you're here. These guys are so glad that you're here. Last week, we had sent them off on assignments, exercise assignments they gave each other, and it was a lot. So I can't wait to see how they did. I also gave them a tough assignment for family, wellness, history, and habits. They were going to take a look at what did they learn or see in their past regarding exercise or nutrition. So we're going to learn all about that. And then guess what? We sent them into their bedrooms for audit number 4, making sure that they work on organization, because we know if you are not organized in one part of your life, your wellness is not going to be organized either. So let's see how in the hell these guys are doing. Everybody, welcome to Coach Peggy Real Time, where you are real people with real problems and we're finding real solutions. Happy week 5. We're into week 5. Troy.
Crazy.
You know, you guys.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, it was a really big week for you guys, and there was a lot of discovery this week, and there are pictures coming in, and I met with each of you one-on-one, which was so awesome. That was really good to see how everybody's doing and kind of get some, it's hard to be personal in a group like this and ask some personal questions. So we met this week, and guess what? I also did your totals, because this is not all about weight loss. I say that every single week, but when you have weight to lose or gain or whatever, and you put the healthy habits into play, shit happens, and shit is happening with you guys. So as a group, total of 7 inches lost in the waist. That saves lives.
Awesome.
That saves lives. So we ideally would like a woman's waist to be below 35 inches, and ideally a man's below 45. So that decreases cardiovascular disease by 60%. So that's really important to get the waist down. So that's exciting. And then collectively as a group, you've lost 26 pounds. This has been a month,
Wow.
1 month, okay? And so as a total percentage, that's 13% weight loss.
Wow.
Total.
That's awesome.
Significant. So that's really good. Yeah, I mean, if you think about the averages where they're going, okay, healthy weight loss, oh, if you have a lot to lose, could be 2 pounds a week, 8 pounds a month. If you have a lot to lose, I mean, that's still a significant jump. So you guys, I'm really super proud of you. We're going to have a guest coming on here in a little bit. It's a guest, Christine from season 1, and she's going to talk to you guys kind of about exercise, because that was one of her biggest ahas. So she's going to be here in just a little bit. So I thought we could start off right now, going around and seeing if you have any big ahas that are sticking out either from this week. We're going to be going into all the homework, but any big ahas this week, or even maybe the series or whatever. Faith, what are your thoughts?
I've had a few ahas this week, but I think my biggest came today. And I've been struggling to understand why I sabotage myself with habits. And I was trying to understand why, as soon as I start to embed a habit, I almost like stop it. And I realized it all comes down to control, because it's almost like it feels like it's automatic. So it's like my ego fights that. So that was like a really big realization for me. Actually, I need to sort of possibly take things a little bit slower, and then just embed them a little bit slower rather than sort of diving into things.
Good shit, Faith. Trouble. What else? Did you have anything else pop up? That's a big one.
I think the second one was around how my environment is reflected out of how what's going on in my mind and how I'm feeling. And I know sort of they say cluttered mind, sort of cluttered house, but it was actually really sort of looking at and how I was feeling and what actually does this make me feel, rather than it just being sort of clutter and busyness. Actually looking at what I was feeling.
100% right, aliens. As we've been going through this stuff in the kitchen and auditing and cleaning things out. And now we're in the bedrooms and we're going to go even into an Audit 5 this week. You guys are going to start to really realize that when you're more organized around you, you are going to be more organized in your mind. It looks like either Rita is praying to the Jesuses up above with her, or she's showing us her eyeshadow color today. Oh, she is back. She must have bounced off to with the aliens that we just.
Like the rest of you guys were frozen.
Welcome back, Rita. What were some of your ahas this week?
The biggest one this week, I didn't realize how much clothes I had and how much of it I have not used. A lot of it, of course, has been, they're smaller sizes. And I'm like, oh, because every spring and winter, I pack my clothes away because I don't have enough room for it all. So every spring and winter comes, I unpack everything, wash it, hang it back up. And I realized, do you not have any more? Half of the stuff. So this audit really helped. The second big aha that I had was the meals, the macros. Like last Monday was just and then Tuesday, I'm like, okay, you got this. Just, chill out, give yourself some time.
Yeah.
And by Thursday, I'm like, okay, I'm on track. I've got, I've got a better understanding, menus, ideas. So I know it's just going to take some time, but I'm pretty hard on myself. So that's why I was kind of like, you need to just settle down and take some time, make some time to get this done. It's, you're not in a race. It goes back to that crawl, walk, run type of thing. So
that's awesome. Yahoo! Okay, Troy, share an aha.
Just that no matter how hard you plan and how hard you try for things to go the right way, and as prepared as you are, something jumps up and kicks you right square in the balls and you're screwed. And you have to adapt everything and change everything. And it's just like, how do you prepare for that? And that's, how do you have a plan B when you don't know you even need a plan B?
Oh, yeah. That's very good. Plan A and B, and sometimes we'll talk about going to plan C. Emotional and physical resilience. The physical resilience will be like, oh, if I can't work out my legs, what can I do with my upper body? And the other one is if, I can't go to work, then what am I going to do with a side hustle? And then if it's like a family get injured, what am I going to do here and there? Especially when people get put in the hospital family, and all of a sudden you're sitting by their bedside for 30 days. How do you prepare for that? When I work with people one-on-one, we go through a process called Create the Chaos. And I'll give them scenarios just like, you just inherited a farm. And they're like, what? I'm like, happens every day. You just inherited a farm. What the hell are you going to do with it? You got a lawyer? Do you want it? You got some chickens? And they're just like, but we'll just draw out a chaos. So you're absolutely right. Yeah. What the hell are you going to do? Plan B, C. That's good. We'll chat about that because it affects nutrition, relationships, exercise, organization.
Everything
affects absolutely everything. So this is Christine Marshall Hersom. She was in season 1 of Coach Peggy Real Time. She was extremely successful. She's continuing on her journey. We've got their 6-month reunion coming up. And of course, we'll be doing that with you guys. And we'll be doing that at 1 year. And one of her biggest, she wanted to get active again, which is why she's going to chat with us today. And her non-weight loss goal was to start writing a blog. So Christine's been writing for me, I don't know, for about 6 weeks. I don't know, 6. Yeah. So yeah, see, there's weight loss and non-weight loss goals. Look at you. What these guys did last week, Christine. Yep. First of all, welcome. You've got Rita up here. You've got Troy. We've got Faith from across the waters from the UK. Rita's from Colorado and Troy's from Minnesota. But listen, what these guys did last week, Christine, was super funny. I asked them to assign exercise, movement classes, whatever, to each other. So they got so excited. You know where I'm headed. So Rita assigned, we're going to stretch this many minutes, this many times this week. Then it went to Troy. Troy's like, well, we're going to do that dance video 4 times this week. Then it went to Faith, and Faith is like, we're going to walk 3 times this week. And I'm taking notes, And then all of a sudden it dawns on them, well, is that like...
She doesn't even have to write it down. It stays in her brain. It's scary.
I started to add up how many minutes they were assigning without realizing they were assigning them to each other. So they were very busy last week. Yeah. But I was wondering if you could share your story with your past with exercise, what you learned, and how you're doing right now? Because there were a lot of ahas.
There were a lot of ahas. I grew up on a dairy farm, so life was exercise. I played all the sports in school. I was a dancer. I was a majorette. You name it, I did it. Exercise for me was a stress release. I don't know that I recognized that when I was young, but then once I had children and got busy with life, exercise was the one thing I kept putting off. I'll get to me later. It was always later. And then I'm always stressed. I took anxiety medicine. I was not creative at all. Nothing inspired me. Just get up and you do the same thing every day. So I actually found Peggy's video on hula hooping, and I thought I was terrible as a youngster hula hooping on it. And I still wasn't, but I thought I'll do it. Got the hula hoop. I joined the class. I got lots of exercise. The bending over and picking up a hula hoop was amazing.
Yes.
So then I was like, it was fun. But I also noticed afterwards that I felt more vibrant. Even though I didn't have great success with the hula hoop, I had success with doing something, doing something for myself. So I have a home daycare, and it's 13 hours I'm open during the day. And I kept thinking I'm never going to be able to find a way to exercise in that few hours I have left before it's time to go to bed. So I started doing it with the kids, the push-ups, in our beginning strength
exercises.
So we would just do it and play a game. We'd all get on the wall and be doing it. That's how I got the push-ups in on the wall with the kids. The squats, sometimes they would fall out of the chairs. So we started playing a game where I would do the squat, but then you'd have to walk. So we'd all look like, I don't know, hopefully nobody videoed that outside around the lawn as we're squatting and getting up and taking a step. So basically my thing was that once I started to move again, everything looked better. The trees are greener, the air is fresher, the mind is more creative. I just try to find ways to fit in at least those things. Even if I don't get anything else done during the day, I try to do those things. Even here, I got up this morning, stretched it out, do some of it on the picnic table, went for a swim. Yeah. It's easy here because I just go down and go for a swim. But so for me, exercise was the key to bringing it all back or bringing it together again.
And Christine's a teacher's pet. So what fell out, these guys are learning a little bit this week about teacher's pet, and they're learning about crawl, walk, run. We've got some runners that need to pull back and some crawlers that need to, walk a little bit. And so Christine was definitely a runner, a teacher's pet, get an A, slow to kind of even sometimes absorb because she just wanted the A. One of the things that I did is just like with you is assign these videos, and she hadn't done salsa dancing. I mean, she was the clacker. We joked all season because she was like, oh my God, la, 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 la. It was just
so much fun.
And she would have never done that. So bringing that diversity back for someone who grew up on a farm and didn't even realize it was exercise. She was active in school, but the point, I think, Christine, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're really just trying to say to these guys, it doesn't have to be this big strategic thing. You can do bits and pieces functional throughout the day or videos or.
Right. Even I find that if you do, I try to set a goal of 150 or 200 push-ups on the wall. I don't always get it done all at once. Probably be better if I did, but we'll do 50. The kids need to look around and see something shiny. Then we go back and do 50 more or 25, whatever they're in. So I get it done throughout the course of the day, always that. And then I try to do the other things, the yoga or the video, but I always get those done every day. And granted, it's easy. Probably some of you don't want to be at work squatting and stepping. My career choice is a little easier to get away with that.
Yeah.
But
that's really good. And you all, go ahead.
I would say you could do the squat thing in the bathroom if you went in to go to the bathroom, if you did 5 or 10.
Right.
After you're done your business.
One of the other things that Christine brought up, and it was really relevant, a big hit last year that went in here in her head is that how much of a stress release she hit with that, for anxiety. She just didn't connect that when she was younger, that it was always exercise, even with you guys, and even myself, exercise to lose weight, or exercise because I have to, or but she really started to pinpoint that, oh my gosh, when I'm stressed throughout the day, instead of taking shit out on everybody else, she started to going stress, move, stress, move, and it just started to be automatic for her. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for Christine? Any thoughts? You haven't seen season 1. She doesn't look like the same person. Just her coloring, her energy. Right, Troy? You watched season 1.
I have seen season 1. Yeah.
I used to comb my hair for season 1. I used to.
You look great.
I didn't go sliding in a bathing suit and a t-shirt.
No, you look great. Your energy, your coloring, everything. Yeah, you look really
My
healthy.
daughter says more self-confidence. You're not going through life.
Aww.
Like I went to the ocean with her a few weeks ago, and I actually wore a bikini because I wanted sun in places that I hadn't seen sun in. And am I the supermodel? No, I'm not. But you know what? I put it on and strutted right down to that water and then laid in the sand. I thought, I don't care what any of you
awesome.
say.
Oh
Right,
my gosh.
And you don't think about it, people really don't say anything to you. You know what I mean? They may look at you, maybe some people say, oh my goodness, she's a little old for that. But nobody, I don't know why I thought, oh, if I do this, people are going to attack me on the beach. Like they even care what I'm wearing.
Right.
So,
oh my gosh, I'm
but
so
it's
proud of you.
self-confidence. So, yeah.
Rita, any thoughts, any questions for Christine?
That's excellent. Good for you. Good for you. And I actually do some of my stuff, my videos and stuff on Friday afternoons at work.
Yep.
Most of the people I work with, everybody is gone by like 2:00. So
Nice.
I'm the only one there in the office in the whole building. So, and phones don't ring. So I do that. I did the Latin video on Friday afternoon. But I also I have some bands that I take with me during the day because, again, I'm the only one in the office. So
Yep.
I take advantage of that. That's what I've been doing is body weight exercises. But in my mind, I always thought I need to do a constant 30 minutes in order for it to be a workout. If I'm doing 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, I'm like, I don't consider that a workout. So I've had that embedded in my brain for so long. But no, that's great hearing it from you that, it still counts.
It does. It still shows up at the end of the day or when you do your measurements or your strength. It does. Every day you can do more of those, even though you did it in 6 increments throughout the day before.
Yeah, it adds up though. It does add up.
Yeah.
Troy, any thoughts?
Oh, just inspiring. And again, seeing you through the first season and then seeing you now and where you've come and how much you've accomplished it's fantastic. And it is inspiring.
Now I live outdoors.
Nothing wrong with that.
She moved to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
We gave her some confidence. Oh, that's amazing. Faith, what are your thoughts for Christine? We'll let her go.
I have to say I love your energy. I saw a couple of the series. I didn't watch all the way through, but I do absolutely love your energy. And I've really noticed, I think when it comes to exercise with me, that I never saw it as like a stress relief before, but on the days where I've missed it and then I've picked it up again, I've noticed the difference in myself. And that's sort of really sort of a big thing for me, rather than it being something I have to do, rather than something I enjoy doing, and I can sort of see the benefit at the end.
Look, Christine, look at you mentoring. Look at you. Well, you go swim. We are so grateful. Swim again. Second time today. Watch the hot dogs. Enjoy your s'more, snobby food.
I even weighed myself before I left to go camping.
You guys, that way she knows what her camping does to her, because she doesn't run from data, you guys. Okay.
I hate the smell.
Data. There's no emotion attached. Take your goddamn happy shirt, happy camper, and go have fun. Thank you, Christine, so much. We'll chat soon.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Christine.
Bye-bye. Good luck, guys.
Bye.
So this week, let's go right into you guys assign stuff to each other for exercise. What were your thoughts, Faith? Was it hard to get everything? Did you get everything in?
Yes. Yeah.
Rest
Yeah. I
of
mean,
you?
even similar. I've been doing quite a bit of exercise anyway. I mean, like the week before, I did sort of videos, and I'd been doing gym classes. So it wasn't that much more exercise. I think I struggled more because I was feeling emotional. And then when I feel emotional, I almost sort of disengage. I just sort of go, and I don't want to do anything. So then it was more of a push to get myself moving again. But then once I did, I got everything done that I needed to.
Girl, those emotions are bubbling from you in this journey. I mean, embrace them. I really want your attitude to be bring it on, because it's just like the hurry up and fail thing. You know, you're like, what do you mean fail? It's not fail, it's test, right? It's a learning opportunity. And so for you, it's like, bring on this shit. Okay, negativity, what's negativity? Okay, what's sad? Because it is when you get fearful, that control of go back in and then go back into the home that is comfortable and hide in the bedroom. And we'll talk about the audits and stuff, but push freaking hardcore through that, you know, ball like a baby, take kickboxing classes. Roy, how did you do with exercise this week? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Go ahead. You might just hit it first.
Should we start in the beginning? Oh, okay. Let's listen. Let's be positive.
Let's be positive here. I didn't get all of it done, but I did get as much done as I could with the situations that I had going on this week.
How did you choose which ones to do? Because that's important. I'm curious how you made that process.
I did the stretching, and I tried to do that because I could actually just sit and do that and kind of decompress. So I did that. I did the Latin dancing because it's just freaking fun. And someday I'm not going to be a klutz and I will get the steps down, because I cannot it's bad. So I did do those.
I love it. So I'm going to be assigning exercise this week. So I can't wait to share that with you at the end. Okay. Nutrition plan. I want to go into that first. Last week, if you guys haven't seen the show last week, I shared a complex document that, not complex in the point of not understanding it intellectually, but a cumbersome document and some work that has to fall out in order to figure out your goals and what you need to do. So some definitions in and around nutrition and diet, and then calorically what you're going to do, and with your macros, what you're going to do based on the weight loss, maintain, or build muscle goal that you might have. This week, you guys have been continuing to use your wellness logs where you're tracking nutrition type things and some emotion, which is faith, man. Some of that should be falling out if you keep, if you haven't up till now and you're tracking some of those emotions on that wellness log, and you really can start to look up in that corner where we track sleep or weight, and you can look at your carbs, and then down here you lose track of your focus word, and up here on exclusions you go, wow, I didn't have any sugar that week, and you go happy, doing great, motivated, dedicated, whatever. You're going to start to go, this isn't in my life anymore. Not going to do that on Tuesday. So what are you thinking, Rita? I know you've been working really hard this week on nutrition. And before you start, for those viewers out there who are A students, for those viewers who think that their life is just routine and tick, and it's going to go exactly like you believe it's going to, even with new information. When you have a rough day at work and you need to contact your coach about midnight because you've lost your freaking nuts, go ahead and do so if you have me as a coach. Rita lost her nuts last Monday. No, did you struggle it? But it is your type A personality, but you shared it. Awesome, number one, because we all got to see it and experience it with you. Faith came in right away and was like, we're positive and getting each other through it. But girl, talk to us. What about it? Well,
it was just, I wanted to do the whole running thing. I saw that. I'm like, okay. And then I read it and I'm like, okay, well, the problem with me again, because I'm such a selective eater, I was just overwhelmed with everything. I was trying to put the carbs, put the protein, put the fat, oh yeah. And then I got to figure in calories. That's the main thing. So while I was trying to work on this Monday, I had in and out visitors like all day long. And I was frustrated because I'm like, I just want to get this done. So I felt like Monday was just a total waste. And that kind of pissed me off because when I can't get my stuff done, boom.
Troy, what are your thoughts on your wellness log? What are you seeing?
Looking back now, it's even though I was having a rough week, I could have done better at trying to keep track of that stuff and work with it. But, it's hindsight's always 20/20. So.
Right. Think about this. When you guys look at your wheel, right? We have the heart, then we have spirit, then we have the mind, then we have the body quadrant. When one of them has a bunch of pokes, the other ones have to step up to the plate. They have to keep it going. So when your heart quadrant, you know, if there's relationship issues, or if your heart is broken, or your dog passes, you know, something is just like, oh, up there, we can't function without a heart. So that can be just crumbling and devastating and put you in a corner. And the heart quadrant is also where emotions are, coping skills, integrity, everything. I can live without my arm. I can't live without my heart. That section, when that gets taxed, it is so difficult to sit in it and go, okay, food is fuel. What am I going to eat this week? How am I going to do really, really well? Okay. And to get creative in that, okay, organization, I can at least fold one load of laundry, just one. So to amp up those other quadrants when one's just smacked, it would be the same thing as if in your body quadrant, you were sick or injured and you couldn't exercise, right? Or if you were in somebody else's house on vacation and you can't control your nutrition, then you'd have to move. Then you'd have to, okay? So that's kind of what happened to Troy. And I want you guys to think about, are things happening to you? Right? Do they have to happen to you? Is life happening to you, or can you make life happen? Do you want to sit around and go, oh my gosh, everything's happening to me? Or just take the bull by the horns and take control and just say, no, this situation is beating the shit out of me. I lose my job, so I lost my job. Maybe I'm supposed to make coffee. Just take it and flip it on its head. So I want you to think about this, because you guys are going to continue to do this, because I want to figure out what your window is. And I'm looking for a couple of different things. I'm looking to see what your habits are. I'm looking to see if calorically, if you have a window like this, you're pounding your food and like, are you just shoving in so much food in that little time period that you're miserable and you can actually lower your food intake or make wiser choices? I'm looking for that. I'm looking based on your physical activity or your mental muscle that's needed. Do we need to open it up? Do you need to actually have 11 or so hours that you need to eat? I'm looking to see if you're a person who goes start date, start time, end time. Yeah, I like that, because I don't have to think about it. I'm kind of looking at that. I want you to treat it just like you would medicine, your prescription. If you miss your medication, you don't take 2. You're back on track. Okay. So if you screw up your eating window, say your eating window, let's pretend is 9 to 7. I'm just making it up. If you eat all the way up to 11 o'clock, you still start eating again at 9. It's like, well, Peggy, I'm not going to be hungry. I don't care. Put 1 almond in your mouth. I'm trying to get you to stay in that window, because otherwise you're doing all this. I'm not asking, you're not changing the window. Your window's we got to stick to try to, you can shift your times a little bit if you want it to be 9 or whatever. We can figure out the start and end times, but I want it to be a solid window. Make sense? Yeah. They eat breakfast because it's habit. 6:30 every morning. They're not even hungry yet. And you're feeding yourself, and it sounds silly, but let's wait until a little bit, unless you have medical issues, you're getting dizzy, you've got a headache, blah, blah, blah. But we want to shrink it a little. We want to burn some fat.
One thing that I did find is by the time I did have breakfast, I was famished. It was just like, I am starving right now.
Yes.
So, it was different. It was definitely
I'm not
different.
really promoting you to be starving, but I get it. We want to have that alarm system click off, because what I'm trying to do as well is to get back that mindful instead of mindless eating. I want you to hear the body alarms go, wow, is that my tummy growling? Yup. Wow, I have a headache. Wonder why? You haven't eaten for 5 hours. Oh my gosh, why am I tired? Well, you just had, 4 cups of spaghetti. I want you to start really hear the body react, rather than just mindlessly constantly putting fuel in the tank. Rita, did you use your hours at all?
I did. I was kind of messing with the 8 to 6, 9 to 7 type of thing. The thing that I kind of found I'm kind of at odds with is my work hours are 8 to 5. I don't like eating breakfast at work, because usually when I get to work, I hit the ground running. So it's like I can start eating. So for me, it's been trying to find something of convenience, something that's not like a big spread that I can eat rather quickly. Of course, the coffee is not an issue, because I can sip on that all morning. But for the most part, I did the 8 to 6. And then I would usually, once I'm done eating, floss my teeth because I'm like in my head, I'm thinking I'm not going to go eat anything after that because I'll have to
The
do that
trick.
process again.
That's the trick of the trade. First thing at night, if you don't want to snack, brush your teeth. Most people won't eat after they brush their teeth. Rita brings up a really good point for those of you who, that are listening, customer service, anything like that, that you can't eat at your desk. It's a much different game that you play when you've got to eat, have a break, eat, lunch, eat. It's really a lot different when you can't eat at your desk, especially the medical field. You can't be eating at your desk. If you're trying to find something on the way to work that's relatively quickly and you still want to play these games, then be thinking about the smoothie, the protein drinks, the protein bars with a handful of nuts, something that you can hop on the train or anything like that as you try to experiment with this. Again, it's just an experiment. We can see what falls out of it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the clothing audit number 4. If you guys saw last week's episode, Catwoman was excited to head into the bat cave, into the kitty cat cave, and organize her bedroom. I would like to start with Faith. And girl, before I even look at these pictures, post these pictures up for everybody, you hoed out some shit out of the house this week. You are killing it on this. What did it feel like when you went on in there and did your closets and stuff?
It was hard to start with, just because there was just so much in there, and I was dreading it. I was also dreading sort of doing the pre-pictures. There was a lot of embarrassment. It was just not a place that I wanted to be in, and I think that was reflected in the space, which is why I just sort of shoved lots of stuff in there. I'd never dealt with it, but it was well overdue. So I just literally sort of just tackled a little bit every day. And first of all, it was just a case of getting rid of the stuff that I no longer use, I no longer wear, and just being realistic. Do I really like this? And if I don't, it's just get rid of it. And I could almost feel myself saying, well, actually, that could be useful. And as soon as I felt that, I was like, get rid of it. It's got to go. Because I thought, I know what I'm doing here. It's talking myself into keeping it when I don't need it.
What you did in 1 week can take people months. And she dove in. So, I mean, these are things I'm watching too. So, okay, that's amazing. Okay, Troy, what about you? How did it feel? How long did you wait to do it? What were some of the outcomes?
It was midweek when I did it. Shoes were a big thing. I had to go through shoes. I'm bad about shoes. And t-shirts. I had more t-shirts than I thought I could ever imagine that I had. And the majority of them I don't wear. I mean, you have your favorite.
Are you one of those that gets t-shirts from every place you visit?
No, yeah, well, I used to be, but not anymore. I get a couple here and there. And you have your favorite 10 that you wear, and that's it. And then the rest of them sit in the drawer. And so, yeah, we did some serious purging of the dresser drawers and socks. I had a lot of socks.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I won't even bring up. You guys will see it in the pictures. There's a really exquisite pair of fuzzy somethings. Troy, I don't miss anything.
The cabin socks.
The cabin socks, yes.
Cabin
You
socks.
guys will notice he kept the cabin socks. It looked like a small kitty cat in your drawer. I had to look twice. Right?
It gets cold in Minnesota. You want to keep your feet warm.
No judgment on the kitty cat box. Okay, Rita. Girl, I didn't go.
I didn't throw out as much as I thought I would. But like I said earlier, I have this routine. So come fall, I just pack all my summer and spring clothes away and shoes and all that. And then I break out the fall stuff, wash it, hang it up. And this time it made me realize I had a lot of clothes that didn't fit me. I even tried them on. I'm like, I don't like the way they look on me. So out they go. The shoes weren't a big issue because I've always had this rule. If I'm going to buy a new pair, I need to get rid of 1 or 2 pair because 2, I don't have a lot of closet space.
Right.
So, but I'm huge on shoes too. But I did get rid of a lot of stuff that no longer fit, wasn't my style anymore. And and I did keep the stuff that I did keep, I'm like, hey, it's, yeah, I forgot about this. I can actually wear this now.
See, that's another good reason to do this, is you kind of find things that you didn't really realize that you had. I want to bring up a point. Rita lives in a community. I mean, even Troy does. Well, I guess maybe Faith does too. But for those of you who live in Four Seasons, who are people who take the clothes out and then, summer clothes away and then fall clothes and whatever, try to carry this process with you, because right now it's summer. So carry that process when the fall clothes, come out and the winter clothes come out, to kind of do this, because you're going to be overwhelmed again. So go ahead and go through this. All right, good job. We'll have another audit coming up for assignment this week. Okay, listen, we went and did some family wellness history and habits. We started talking about digging into why it's so important to look back in order to look to the present, what's going on right now, why you're doing what you're doing right now, so that we can create a different future. It's so important. Again, a lot of people don't like to go back. They're like, oh, this is a new journey and I'm just going to restart and let's forget. No, we can't. Even 20-year-olds that I work with, there's a reason. There are things that they've learned that they don't even know. And some of the stuff fell out that I was looking and reviewing of you guys. This week, we looked at exercise and nutrition. There are 4 parts, and coming up this week, you guys will be looking at mindset and social environment. That usually stirs up quite a bit of emotion and history stuff, so that can be a little bit tougher. In terms of exercise, so I made some observations, but obviously I want to hear what your thoughts were when you went through it. Troy, did anything fall out? We're going to go around. Anything that you think of like, wow, I want to make sure I get rid of that, that kind of came forward. Or something that like, whoa, I forgot I did that. I want to bring that forward. Or did you think of something brand new to do? What fell out with exercise?
There wasn't a whole lot of direction family-wise for me. Mine all came from sports. That was where, that was my exercise, and I did the exercise for the sport. Again, it wasn't because I wanted to, but because that's what you do.
Yes.
So, but family-wise, no, not a whole lot of motivation exercise-wise there at all. Was never really taught anything. Again, I learned everything good from my coaches.
But no, and that's a really, really good point. And you can also see that coming up, you might have learned some things from your coaches or heard some things from your coaches that slapped you upside the head in the next 2 parts we'll do in regards to mindset and social stuff. One thing that I did observe, I wanted to share with you, Troy, is that sometimes when people, back in the day when we were in sports, we talked about this week, is you just press through, whether you're injured or no matter what, especially if you're looking for scholarships back in the day. Our parents couldn't afford college. I was middle class, and you did it on academic or sports scholarships. And that's how you got to college, period, just the way it was. So for anybody who is athletic, you push on, whether you have an injury, whether you've torn your ACL, whatever, it doesn't matter. You keep going. For those of us who have gone through times like that with physical activity, what we forget is we've brought forward the no pain, no gain. And you want to try to remember to listen to your body, to understand that causes a massive amount of inflammation. Inflammation causes stress to the body. Stress causes weight gain. And so think about that. I don't need to press forward so that I'm sore for 3 days. I don't need to see result in 1 day. It might be 1 month. And we kind of talked about that, Troy, but that was something I wanted to share with you. Rita, what about you with exercise? Anything fall out?
Growing up, we never saw it as exercise. We kind of grew up kind of like in a farm type. I mean, we had a huge front yard, a lot of acreage in the back. So I have three brothers, 3 sisters. So we all kept each other busy. We'd either set up a volleyball net in the front yard. We'd play softball. We'd go roller skating. We'd go down and play tennis. So a lot of the stuff we never saw as exercise. It was fun. It was something to do. And the word boredom never came up when we were growing up. We just had so much to do. Riding bikes, at that time, it was a little bit safer to ride down the street or to the schools.
Right.
So, but yeah, the one thing that stuck out to me is like, I don't view that kind of stuff anymore as, exercise. Those were fun things that I used to do. And that kind of opened my eyes. Like, this is stuff I can start doing again. Some of them on the safer side, and not seek it as just exercise, something that I enjoy doing.
That's the note I made for you, is to bring back that diversity, those fun things. Like, I'm not saying you have to go out and buy rollerblades. That's not anything I'm saying. But when you have a very diverse family like that, a big family like that, that even doing Twister is physical activity, but you don't look at it as, you whip out your Twister right now, you guys, gonna be a little bit sore. Okay. It's activity. And so for you, you have said before that, I like to be active. I want to be out. I want to be one of those grandmas that hikes and the kids say, wow, she's really active. You've said that so many times, that opening up to the biggest diversity possible, whether it's, playing tennis or shooting a basketball, going down to the park and shooting hoop. Something like that rolled out for me when I was thinking about you. What about you, Faith, with exercise?
I think my childhood, there was a lot of things happened that sort of changed the whole family dynamics. Sort of up until the age of 7, my mum had an accident, so she then wasn't physically active. So sort of up to that point, we did more things that were outdoors as a family, but then everything changed. So it was more we were more disjointed in what we did. So there was there wasn't a lot of consistency in what happened. No, a lot of my memories of exercise as a child, I didn't like it. It was always a lot of effort, a lot of work. I enjoyed doing horse riding, doing sort of gymnastics at school, netball, but as long as it was actually something where I was engaged in the activity, rather than it being sort of having to walk to somewhere or climb up a hill or a mountain, or
Right.
that would be just a huge task that I wouldn't want to do.
And I'm not saying that your childhood was like being at a boot camp, but some of the stories were very, similar in the sense of having the children follow a parent's desire, their exercise regime. So whether it was hiking or walking, and the kids are like, I don't want to do this. That's tough to do when you don't find it fun, right? When it's a different journey. One thing I wanted to have you think about is, when things get changed at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, even when it comes just to physical activity, you can hold grudges against someone without even realizing that you are. And I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying for some people who have an extremely active family and somebody gets hurt or has an injury and then they're not, can be like, well, there you go. That changed everything for me. Or they'll hate that activity, such as hiking or walking or running. So they're just dig a little deeper and just make sure that if there's something that you don't like or don't want to do or are fighting against, if there's not a little baby story in there, that, because it doesn't mean you have to go back and do that thing. But for you, I think fitness has to be fun, because there's some memory history. There's some things there. So fun for you. Awesome. All right, you guys, when we looked at nutrition, there's some stuff that rolled out for sure. What about you, Troy? What were your thoughts on your family history with nutrition?
Didn't have a whole hell of a lot growing up. So nutrition certainly wasn't at the top of the list. I mean, it was, you do what you got to do and get through the day with food wise. So, and I've probably carried that a lot longer into my adult life than I thought I did. It took me a long time to realize that, hey, a Big Mac isn't necessarily a treat.
Right.
So.
No, that's a very good point. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Rita, what fell out with you with nutrition?
Something that I realized is we ate pretty healthy growing up for having a large family. We had our basic 4 food groups growing up. We had cows, we had chickens. We had pretty fresh food. We had a garden, so we all took part in taking care of that. So, I think I ate better then. It was an eye opener.
Yeah. So that's something when you think about the habit for nutrition, that when you can think back of the energy and the creativity and the colors, get excited about that and bring that back. If you can attach, we want to attach good things to good things too. We don't want to just go, oh, that's bad, and try to rewire it. When we do this exercise, it's to find little nuggets that are like, whoa, that's been buried and I want to bring that back. And that very colorful. You're a habitual eater. And we're going to go into this in just a second. And habitual eaters get very tick, 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 mundane. When they find something they like, they don't typically change it. So really think about that garden and how creative and colorful that can be for you. What about you, Faith, with nutrition?
Growing up, my mum cooked a lot. She baked, and we all did that sort of together. So we always had like quite a varied diet, but my mum also baked a lot. So there was always sort of sweet things, pies, like a big massive pot of stew. We had sort of chickens, we had fruit trees, nut trees. So we were always in the garden eating plums, sort of eating whatever the food was there. And there was there wasn't really a lot of moderation. It was just eat sort of what you want when you want. So not a lot of structure with it.
Right. What I was thinking about for you guys in regards to nutrition. So when we were growing up there, we were all in these people on Mars love to come into our show. We're all about the same age-ish, or at least can understand this age-ish of the buy in bulk, bake at home, lots of baking at home, cooking at home, stews that we'd eat for several days. So when we would buy in bulk, you tend to eat the same things over and over, which causes a lot of people to go, I hate beans, because we had a history of 13 cans of beans in our cabinets, right? So there's part of that, but also the feeling of scarcity, where we had either all or nothing. Parents shop on a Thursday, run out of food by the next Wednesday, they go get their paycheck, tons of food on Thursday, there's that level of have and then not have. Then there were fast food restaurants that started to pop up all over the place and were considered the treat of the day. Get good grades, do well in your games, spend time with grandma on Friday, we'll take you for Dairy Queen, McDonald's, and also along with that came the marketing of this is so much cheaper than food at home. You can feed a family, of 5 at McDonald's for $12, 79-cent hamburgers. We'd walk home with 12 of them. So there's a lot that kind of falls out with that stuff with you guys with food. A couple of things I want you to think about. Mom, okay, lots of times when mom's cooking back in the day, she was the last one to eat if she ate. Kids eat first. Think about if you're doing that. Did mom eat breakfast? I don't think so. Am I eating breakfast? I don't eat breakfast. Think about those little habits of where the person was, what they were cooking. Were they tasting while you were eating? Did they taste something? You got some Italians that are like, they'll eat 400 or 500 calories worth of food, tasting it while they're cooking it. Hispanics, perfect example. Oh, they sit down and they eat a real meal too. And I'm like, you just ate 300 calories. This tastes good. So think about that stuff as well. All right, so last week we talked about crawl, walk, run. That is how you attack a habit or a goal. Am I going to crawl? Oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, maybe, how are you going to process into that? Then this week we're going to move to the next step called attitude. So this is that next level of habits. What is your attitude when it comes to habits or goals? So what is an attitude? An attitude, there's 3 of them that I made up because I had nothing else to do. Habitual, passionate, and emotional. I think we have a little mix of all of us in here. So when we look back at how you would approach a habit, crawl, walk, run, none of us are all of them. Rita might run a little bit more and someone else might crawl, but might be a mix of them. You want to kind of be all 3 if you want to be really healthy. Same with attitude. But you guys are going to fall out in one mostly, okay? Rita is a habitual eater, exerciser, worker, tick, tick, tick. Things can get mundane. Sometimes a busy bee. I'm going to just roll these out. More of routines. They have, mostly they have efficiencies. They can tend to be the healthiest. Bear with me on that for a second. They can be admired. They can sometimes seem the most organized. They, however, like the same old foods. They could eat blueberries for 3 years. Okay, they lack sometimes creativity because they can miss opportunities because the opportunity comes knocking, but they're right here. So they say no to things. They just get stuck in this. And then they can get bored, injured, or sick and not even see it coming because they're stuck in the habitual. It can be a habitual eater, exerciser, relationship. It can be a relationship for 20 years. It sucks. Not happy. Well, it's just what we do. Well, just by habit, right? Then you've got, so be thinking about what, where you feel like you fall. A passionate versus a passionate attitude. When you think of food, it's really easy. I think I touched base on this last week. Mediterranean is the best example of a passionate eater. They love to use their five senses. What does it taste like, look like? Look at the colors. A passionate person, when they explain something, uses a lot of adjectives and adverbs. Sentence goes on forever when they're talking about a walk. And the forest was this amber, had amber colored sand, and then it just freaking goes on forever. And you're like, a habitual person's going, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, shut up. Did you go for the hike? When did you get back? I don't really give a shit. Passionate's like, I always say to my passionate people, let's just say I have someone in my house. I know he doesn't watch these shows, thank God, because I rip him constantly in all my lives and my shows. He is the most passionate about every single thing in life that it makes me want to stab my eyes out frequently. Okay, so this is the rule we have with each other. At my most tired times of day, I will start with something like this when he's like, hey, and he starts to talk to me. I will say, are you painting or are you pointing? Because if he's about ready to paint me a picture about 30 minutes long that just has something to do with the temperature going to be a little high tomorrow, I can't do it certain times of day. But if he says he's going to point and we're going to go right there, so a passionate person, you guys know who you are, and I think we have some in here. It is a lot. They love variety, diversity. They love, let's see, what else? They like to switch. We got to switch things up for them. They can get in a zone, right? I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to run a marathon. And the next thing you know, they've got the shoes, the boots, the hat. They've signed up for very passionate. Okay. Now I'm going to go on to the emotional person, which is part of why we are here together. You guys have a little bit of emotional eating, a little bit of random self-deprecation or not feeling like you're doing a good job because you're bouncing around trying to find what works for you. We all do that. It's led by happy emotions, sad emotions, celebrations, or mourning. It can be, they're less mindful, very mindless eating, mindless buying. Addicts can fall into this emotional type attitude towards habits and goals. Difficult to stay into actions, failed attempts, all or nothing thinking, on and off, black and white, irrational. Now let's dissect. Why does it matter on your, I want to see how you guys are thinking. The reason it matters, now you know how you might attack it. Okay. But if you attack it with a run, passionate run, and it's all about that, and it's like, oh my gosh, and you are running, you will forget so many pieces, it's not even funny. If you can become habitual somewhat when you're running, this is what I need, what time of day, when am I going to do it, okay, so we want to mix these. So what do you think, Troy? We're talking about habitual, passionate, emotional. What attitude do you think you mostly have?
Mostly, I think I have all three, but I think
Right.
mostly, probably mostly habitual. I don't,
Could be.
I don't know. I think I'm kind of passionate and habitual.
Welcome back. We had a pretty cool week, Roy.
My name is Troy.
There's a Roy in here. That's a nice one. I've never used habitual. Habituate. Very habituate. Totally a new one I'm making up. Or habitual if you're
You're in a bad mood. Yeah. I don't know. I think I have all three. I mean, I'm definitely all there. I don't know if I know which one I'm.
So now let's think about if you set a goal. If you set a goal and you are on your path to kind of make it happen, are you going to be more habitual, passionate, or emotional when you're doing well, not doing well, how you approach it? What is your feeling towards it?
Probably more passionate.
Yeah. I think so
Yeah.
too. I think so
Yeah.
too. That's why sometimes I think you might set yourself up to fail, or when you think you're not doing very well, you want to cut shy and finish just shy of it. What are your thoughts on habitual, Rita?
I say habitual, but like years ago, when I set a goal for myself, I would say at that point, when I set a goal I'm determined on, I'm very passionate.
Yeah.
Very, very passionate.
I actually think you're passionate too. What we'll be doing in a little, probably next couple weeks is taking out of 100% and determining what percent you are of the 3. So you might be 50, 20, 20, 30,
Yeah.
or whatever. I would say habitual, passionate would be your order. And I would say with Troy, it's going to be interesting because I don't think you think you're as an emotional as you might be, even though that doesn't mean good or bad. That can be reactionary, right? Like you got a little thrown off last week or the week before. So you could be responding in ways that we can improve a little bit. What about you, Faith, when you think of all 3? Your thoughts?
I think first of all, I'd probably say passionate, and then second, emotional. But I think probably I do have some things that are habitual, but not. I think I need to work on that, which is where I fall down because I don't build in the routine with things. I get sort of very easily distracted because it's something I get like, oh wow, that's over there, or this is over here, and then I can get very emotional with it. Then that can take me off, so I can go around in circles.
Wellness clock. And it's going to look like this when you guys get it. It's a 24-hour clock. Let me explain that, because for those people who do not know military time, I get these very confused where people come and they don't know how to fill these out. Let's just go. 1 through 12, this is noon, and then we go through the rest of the day. So 1,300 hours is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2,400 hours is midnight. What we are going to figure out is what you do on certain times of day so that I can help you figure out your best times of day to do what you need to do based on your sleep type. All right, I'm going to show you mine, an example in just a second. I would recommend that you print off 2 or 3 of these and do a few days just to see your averages. And also know that weekdays are different than weekends. Duh. Okay, so when you get up, blah, 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 whatever you do, it's going to look something like this one. Doesn't have to be done electronically at all. Okay, you guys can write this with colors. I don't care what it is. You're going to put your start and stop wedges in here for certain things you do. Like get up, did you feel? Because up here, if you see, I would like you to put down some emotion. So for instance, if I slept 7 hours, I feel rested. Right after that, I have 8 ounces of water and some coffee. I might sit down, think about the day, meditate, kind of maybe grateful, journal, whatever. Bike ride, feel great, shower, breakfast, and that takes that chunk. That's probably my average day. Not necessarily me. I'm pretending this is a perfect me. Why? Because I can. Okay. And from 8 to 12, for me, as a lion, I would want to be doing some detailed work, some of my clients' focused work. You guys do not have to look at your clocks right now and do a bunch of research on when you should be doing things. I'd really like to see what you are doing, and we can wax and wane and then make you amazable. And then I've got my snack here. So I'm kind of making it as simple as I can on the ranges and writing it in one spot. And then I've got my lunch and what I do outside, blah, blah, blah. Over here, I do my creative, repetitive type work. I have my snack. And here I finish up. I make sure every single day when I end my day, which is sometimes 9 or 9:30, whenever it is, I always view my next day before I go to bed. Always. I look and see what's hitting it so that I can relax at night without waking up and going, shit, do I have an 8 o'clock meeting? Do I have whatever? And then I have my wind down time. I never take anything, screen stuff into my bedroom. And then this is my sleep hour. So you guys will fill this out this week. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that? Pretty easy. Going to try to figure it out. So wherever you exercise, if you do a 2 a day, if you typically, someday you might work out 8 o'clock in the morning, sometime it's 8 o'clock at night, just put some sort of annotation on there. If it's like a Monday in the morning and a Wednesday at night, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it really will help us try to figure out how to get you. We're going to be nailing it. You're going to run out of excuses in no time, Catwoman. When I look, it's always opposite. So I think, let's see if we do this right. Catwoman, Wonder Woman, Rocky. We'll see how that goes. All right, so coming into this week, real quick, we go around the room, focus words. So last week we had a focus word. Did you guys think about it? Faith, do you remember what yours was last week? We had it from what, E, F, G, H. Do you remember? It was, don't tell me, it was emotion. And what are you going to use this week? Have you thought about your word for this week?
Kindness.
Oh, I love that. First week was A, B, C, D. Then we have E, F, G, H. This week is I, J, K, L. I picked something that was fun, but I can't remember. Oh, jiggle.
Juggle.
It was juggle. I want to see if you read it.
Oh,
Oh, that's good. Juggle. Yeah. Let's see how I juggle. Troy, what was your last one? And your last one was focus.
focus.
You get a little bit of, yeah.
Yeah, that was a little tough last week. This one is keep.
How are you going to use keep? I love that.
Keep working, keep pushing, keep trying, keep going, yep. Keep.
Did you know that was my tattoo?
I knew it. I mean, I knew it, but I forgot. I didn't think about it when I thought of the word, but yeah. it's
Actually,
just-
mental health awareness. Plus, I cuss a lot. So hashtag KFG, not KFC. Okay. Rita, well, okay, I love this. Okay, these are great ones. We have kind. We have keep. Rita, how did you do last week with your word endurance?
Well, once I kind of settled myself down a little bit, I got the meal planning down, the macros and all that. I mean, it took time, but you know, I endured. I made it through the week into the weekend. So for next week, mine's kind of a little different, but my word for the week is going to be kick ass, so that I can start kicking ass on getting scheduling my workouts, getting, you know, today's my meal planning day. So that should take care of all my meals for the week. And I am going to come up with a plan B and C just in case. And I'm going to kick ass this week. I'm going to kick ass.
Devil angel. You haven't heard me talk about this before. It's what always happens to us. These are internal conversations we have all the time. Think about a devil sitting on your shoulder and an angel sitting over here, and they fight constantly. That's what we do with ourselves. The devil is really going to start hammering you guys hardcore, right? The angel's like, could be still saying, good job, you're doing the best you can. Oh my God, girl. Okay, this is where faith sabotaging is coming in. The devil's starting to grow a little bit. The angel might be shrinking a little bit. It might have been this way just even last week, girl, go. And the devil's going, all right, but she's not listening to this guy. Think about these internal conversations, because just as you start to be really, really successful, this devil's going to pop up and say, you're just going to quit anyway. You're not going to get the results that you want. Everybody's judging you anyway. You know, you're not going to lose these inches, whatever it is. You have to learn to stomp that out. I call it coaching yourself, right? Internally, literally coaching yourself to find the motivation, whatever it is, the positivity, flipping things around that you possibly can. So if you can metaphorically, literally think of these guys battling all the time and know that we all have that, we all fight that, that's resiliency. That's emotional resiliency. Yeah, today sucks. I have 4 flat tires. All right, so does everybody. We all do it. Tomorrow I won't. Where am I going to get the money? Shit, I don't know. That's going to make you more resilient instead of spinning out of control, laying on your back and just floundering. Okay, so I want you to think about devil angel this week. Does that make sense on that shit happens, right? I think you guys all have probably by now, since the honeymoon's kind of, you know, we talked about that last week. It starts to get tough right now because you've learned a lot. And the more we learn, the harder it gets because you run out of excuses. Once you start to really figure yourself out, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? You can't run from yourself. And then the more public you are with it, good luck with that. You have to keep going and be as resilient as possible, because the smarter you are, you one step in front of the other. All right, this week. Okay. Family, wellness, history, and habits, part 3 and 4. Mindset, social, environment. You're going to fill out those. You're going to fill out your wellness clock. Okay. The more averages you can do of a couple days, awesome. It'll help me help you. And your inclusions this week, because we always do inclusions and exclusions, and they're not always about diet. I want to talk about your calls, because you guys should have made calls to people, so hold on tight with that. Your inclusion this week is 2 Zumba classes, videos that I post. I will post the video because Troy has been wanting to shake his moneymaker. And so I'm going to help him shake his bonbon by you guys doing 2 Zumba classes this week. Clackety clack. That'll be fun. Now you can count those minutes towards, I want you to have 150 minutes. That's 5 30-minute sessions, 3 50-minute sessions. You need to have at minimum 150 cardio minutes this week. That's not hard. I want you to sweat your ass off and make it work. What is your exclusion? This is going to bring some lbs or some pounds or some kilos off of you probably. No bread, no wraps, no crackers, no chips, gluten-ish free this week. I'm not telling you to go gluten-free. I'm just saying mostly breads. Here's Faith. Coach, can we have some digestives? I learned that. Those are those little cracker things that she likes to eat. No, you can't. Rub your tummy, for shit's sake. No digestives. You gonna be okay? Yes. No digestives in your bedroom now that your room is clean. You can't eat in there either. Okay, kitty cat. You're raring to go and you're excited for Audit 5 and you want to get your little claws into your bathroom. Yes, kitty cat. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Oh, do we have any other secrets in the bathroom? Any special leather oils for your outfits? Kitty cat outfits. Oh, our audit number 5, just staying true to supporting the Kleenex companies. Our audit number 5 is our bathroom. Kitty cat. Sorry. So look at all those little bubble bath toys, those bubble baths, those little bath bombs. All right, some of the things that fall out in the bathroom are the following. For those of you who travel to hotels all across the world and for the last 10 years, you have enough of that shit that you've stolen from there that you could actually donate. You know that. I had drawers and drawers and drawers of them. Go give them to somebody. Somebody will take that. Is a big deal. Okay, get rid of that shit. If you have linens that have holes in them or you still do not know how to fold a fitted sheet, please put all those together. All right, you excited to go into your bathrooms? Come out of your bedroom? Go into your bathrooms. That's great. I'm excited. Okay, and then I think that's it, you guys, for this week. So no bread, Zumba 2 times, wheel, not your wheel, your clock. Your wheel, I'm actually going to have you do next week. So that'll be interesting about midway through. So what are your questions, thoughts as we go around? Troy, bring us home. Thoughts?
Just try to keep working, keep plugging away. Start thinking about plan Bs. You don't think you need a plan B sometimes, but you need a plan B, C, D.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
You do. Phone a friend, right? That's like, what's your backup, right? You, when we did you guys do a chance of calling each other, like somebody you hadn't spoken to for a while? We kind of chatted about that last week. Did you do that, Faith?
I did, yes. Yeah, no, I've got a friend who's been on my mind quite a bit recently, and we sort of briefly interacted, but we've not spoken for 14 years. So I caught up with her, and then we're going to chat again and hopefully meet up. So that was really good.
Isn't it interesting that we don't do the things sometimes unless we're given permission or told to? And now that's like an amazing thing. That's awesome. What about you, Rita? What are your final thoughts? And did you call somebody?
I did call somebody. It was a kind of a short, brief call because this girl never changes. She's always busy, always busy. But she's like, I promise we'll catch up. We'll do coffee. We'll do something. But I mean, it was nice because we hadn't spoken. I mean, even before like the pandemic, we'd text every now and then. But thoughts going this week. It's going to be a good week. I'm going to take the rest of the day to kind of, again, do my meal planning, figure out where I'm going to get these Zumba classes in and the rest of my cardio. That's just me. I'm like, I plan. I got to plan it, get it ready, and get the attitude going, get motivated to get it done.
That's right. Before I go to Faith to see what she thinks about this week, Troy, did you make a call?
I didn't make a call per se. We have kind of a core group of us that have all been friends for 30 some odd years.
So pretty much that'd be no, Coach. That'd be no, Coach.
That'd be no, Coach. I don't have anybody to
No.
because we already all communicate as it is.
Give a shit.
I don't have anybody.
There's probably somebody that you could have changed their life if you'd have called them.
Maybe.
They would be like, oh my God, do you know who called me? Oh, this Troy. What? So this next week, you get the same assignment. Do you think you're going to get out of it, Smith?
No, ma'am.
Faith, how are you going to attack this week? I'm shutting Troy off.
I think for me, it's building in exercise regularly, doing it every day, because even if it's just a walk, because I actually really enjoy going out and just walking. It gives me that space to process. I just like being outside and building that time in for myself, because I know that I don't build in enough self-care, and that's got to be my priority.
You know what, you guys, I swear, and if I'm wrong, I will go back because maybe I am. I do make mistakes. I swear, if you are starting to walk and like it, I think there were a couple episodes ago that you and I were both laughing because you're like, I don't want to walk because if I don't have somewhere to go, it's stupid. And now you're like, oh my gosh, I love to walk. I love to get outside. It's like the best. I love self-care. Am I losing my mind?
No.
Yes. Good job, babe. Look at that's amazing. Good job. Yeah, move a little bit each day, you guys. It's more of a stress release. And with Christine coming on and telling us that, right? There's a perfect example of somebody who had a massive athletic background. She grew up on a dairy farm, had a shit ton of chores, and did never relate it to that might help me get rid of some stress. And another quick thing I'll say about Christine, I'll let you guys go, is she is a prime example of somebody who puts functional moving into her everyday life. She's an at-home daycare. I mean, she can grab a broom and just do things with it. She's always thinking about how can I get something in, and she involves her kids. So whether it's grandkids or daughter or whomever, or walk when you talk or squats when you're waiting for the microwave to get done, think about those minutes that you could be using when something else is being done. All right, you guys go off and have a good week, and I'm going to go ahead and jiggle this week. So. Juggle is my word for the week. Okay, you guys, say goodbye to everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Yeah.
You've been watching Coach Peggy Real Time, a transformation coaching docuseries where each week the cast learns strategies and tools that help improve the quality of their life. And I hope at home you're trying some of the challenges and experiments as well. If you would like to be on upcoming cast for the next season, go ahead over to coachpeggyrt.com and find out some more information and apply. If you'd also like to be a part of our groups that are not public, you can find out that information there as well. Hop on over to Coach Peggy Facebook community and please share with us there your journey and see how the cast is doing each week. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you next week.